Welcome to the Creative Plan Podcast Network. Join us as we share our favorite RPGs, one-shot games, tabletop games, reviews of items, and convention panels, and other exciting things that we run into from time to time. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, a Sign to Ragnarok story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and rpgpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Time start. We're going to give it a couple more minutes, see if anybody else wanders in. I think I've got my one family here. And then none of you are in cosplay, so this is cosplay for the whole family.
Well, for another 10 years, I can still get away with it. I got more time than money anyway, bro.
And we're talking about that a little bit. Definitely.
For another 10 or 15 more years, I can get away with that phrase.
That's right. And we're the Clucks. I'm Joe. This is my wife, Barbara. This is my son, Weldon. We are Found Object Cosplay. We pride ourselves on almost all our cosplays are made from thrift stores. None of these costumes these are either made or purchased from thrift stores. So we're going to start out, family cosplay doesn't have to be expensive. So we're talking about a family cosplay group. We're talking about, obviously I'm not making a costume for one person, I'm making a costume for the whole family. So when we go to a con, we know that we're going to make at least 3 costumes. So that's got to be entered into our budget. The other misconception about family cosplay is that family, and you don't mind if we don't use the mics? You guys can hear fine?
No,
family cosplay doesn't have to be group cosplay. And that's a common misconception that if my family cosplays, we all should cosplay the same thing. Obviously, my wife and I, we're steampunk SG-1. We just found the Stargate in the 1890s, and we're going to start traveling the universe to be at the Stargate. My son here is Ming the Merciless. And if you're older, you talk about what can older people do. Come on, Ming the Merciless, that's a character from the 30s.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rogers, right?
Yeah.
Buck Rogers, exactly. So,
No, Flash Gordon.
Well, Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon. Yeah, he meant that too. Flash Gordon. He was.
Well, when you said Ming the Merciless, I visualized them already in their little air motorcycles. You know,
that was the 80s movies with
wasn't
Queen. Queen did all the soundtrack. That was the Queen soundtrack. But again, that goes back to the 30s. It was a serial in the movies when you went to the theater. So the other thing is, as an older person, can you cosplay? You bet. We've got characters. Yeah. My wife and I, we joked the last con we were at, they give an over 55 discount. We should have all over 55 discounts. Now the Anime Con, we thought they're not going to lose any money at the Anime Con giving an over 55 discount because there's not a whole lot of us there. Steampunk, there's a lot more older crowd. You go past the Tucson Steampunk Society. Steampunk's generally a little bit older crowd, and we joke that's because a 20-something can't grow a good handlebar mustache. You got to work on it a little more. So anybody can cosplay. Why would we want to cosplay as a family? Why are you guys interested? What brings you to listen to this?
Curiosity.
Yeah, curious.
You know,
well, part of it is
I like watching not AMC, but the one next to it. You have Cox Cable, True TV or something.
Yeah.
And it shows the hauntings and ghosts and stuff
so
like that. So paranormal intrigues me.
The biggest thing we want to do it is, as parents, as grandparents, how many years do we have to do things with our kids before they're grown up? My daughter got us started in this. We've been doing this over 6 years now. She's 22 years old on an aircraft carrier now. Do I get to spend time with her? No. But I got to spend some great quality time with her at a convention.
Nice.
I got to spend some great quality time with her building costumes. So if your kids are into something, if you say, hey, kids, we're going to go off and do this museum, how many times the kids go, oh, Mom, really? Is that what we got to do? Or we're going to go camping? Our kids aren't always into the things that we're into. Right. So find out what the kids are into, and let's have some quality family time with our kids while they're still our kids and not out on their own. Right. That's really the gist of what we want to talk about is what can we do as a family to be a family. Now, again, going back to that, come on in.
Come in, hello.
Come on in.
Come on. Hey, ladies.
So going back to that family
a little bit for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family cosplay, again, doesn't have to be group cosplay. So let's say your kids are into anime or into the video game and they want to do a character. And you say, yeah, I don't know anything about that anime. I don't know anything about that character. Do you need to cosplay a companion character with them? No. You do the Flash Gordon from the 30s. Do classic Batman. We all grew up with icons that we know. Our kids might know them. Let them do the Naratus and the Rubies and the anime stuff, and us do Golden Age sci-fi, Golden Age comics. Do the Wonder Womans, do the Flash Gordons, do the Green Lanterns and the Green Hornet and the Shadow. I mean, there's some great characters from 30s, 40s, 50s that we remember as kids. So we don't have to do the thing, but do it with your kids. Cosplay with them, and I'm going to give you I'm going to give you the bad examples before I go into the good examples. I was at KokoriCon, which is the anime con in Flagstaff, and there was a young lady there, and she was in a beautiful anime costume. Now, I don't know my anime, so I don't know what the costume was, but she was doing it very well. And she was probably a high schooler, younger high school girl, and her father was sitting there, and he was about my age, maybe a little older, sitting there, gray-haired guy, and he's sitting there kind of grumpy. I call this Grumpy Dad. Don't be Grumpy Dad. Grumpy Dad was sitting there, and we were at a panel on making costumes. And I knew the young lady giving the costume. She's a college student. She's talking about thrift storing her underpinnings out of cheaper cloth and making the stuff out of newer cloth. And he's like, well, why do you do this? It was my hobby. She goes, do you make any money at it? Well, I don't make any money at it. Why are you giving the panel? Because I enjoy this. And he was just harassing. And I leaned over to him and I whispered, hey, do you play golf? He goes, well, yeah. I said, you make any money at it? He goes, no. I said, well, why the hell do you do it? And he just shut up. It's her hobby. We're not professional. There's some professional cosplayers here this weekend. Some fabulous professional cosplayers. Come on in. It's cosplay for the whole family. So come on up to the front. Again, we're the Clucks. We're Found Object Cosplay, and then this is my son Weldon. If you go online, he's Weldon Cluck.
Weldon Cluck. Weldon Robert Cluck. Props and
Cosplay. He's got over 1,000 followers. We only got like 100 followers. So.
No,
when he's not doing this, he's also a Special Olympics athlete.
Special Olympics.
So he's
done.
Got 2 golds and a silver last week in the state games. So he's also a Special Olympics athlete. So again, something we can do with the family. We're talking about things we can do with their family. Why are you guys interested? You want to do something with your family? Maybe. Again, that's a good start. So. That's Grumpy Dad. Don't be Grumpy Dad. If your daughter wants to go to con, obviously I would never condone sending a teenage girl to a con by herself. As a dad, I think they should be chaperoned. An older brother, mom or dad, great, be there. The first con I went to, I took 3 16-year-old girls. My daughter and 2 of her friends. Now, fortunately, these young ladies, I also had in my venture scouting program. So these are girls I've been backpacking the superstitions, hiking 1,400-foot peaks in Colorado, scuba diving, summer camp. So these are young ladies I knew their mettle. I knew their what I could expect from them. I knew they were good young ladies. I didn't expect any bad. And they knew that they could trust me to be with them, and their parents knew they could trust me. So, and I made the comment to the girls that one of them had a car and a driver's license. I said, realistically, you probably could have gone on your own. And the girls and my daughter go, no, we like that you're here with us, and we like you. My daughter said, sometimes the guys just hug a little too long. So, again, I would never condone sending your kids to a con by themselves. So, if mom's working and dad's got to go and he's not into it, don't be grumpy dad. Look up something you like. Come on, almost everybody likes Star Wars. Right now, and I don't know how it made the tie-in, but these cons are tied into WWE now. All the wrestlers are part of cosplay now for some reason. So, dresses Hulk Hogan. Everybody loves Hulk Hogan, right? That's a manly thing. The stigma that cosplay is not as manly. My cosplay, we're big guns, big weapons on any of my cosplays. So that's grumpy dad. Don't be grumpy dad. Get with your kids, enjoy what they do. We're not getting back to it. Then there's crafty mom. And I met a crafty mom this morning. These girls had some beautiful costumes, and mom helped make them. And the girls do a lot of sewing. Hey, crafty mom, you're good. You're helping make the kids' clothes. Put a costume on too. Crafty mom deserves to get acknowledgement for all the work she's doing. You help make your kid's costume, and you're out there. Put on a costume too and get some of that recognition. Weldon, he loves it. He's a rock star when he goes to stores. That's what he lives on. Is getting photos.
Stand up over there.
He likes getting his photo taken. Again, my daughter, her friends at first con, after the first day of the con, they asked, "Do we have to wear our costumes the next day?" And I says, "Well, no, it's your con. Do what you want, but why don't you want to wear your costume?" She goes, "Dad, we spend all our time getting our picture taken." And especially for a young lady, there's nothing more pump your ego up than people asking to take your picture. Weldon is a Special Olympics athlete. When people ask to take your picture and ask you to be that's just a good feeling. You've done good. Don't think that you have to buy a costume or build a costume. Barbie does Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle, an anime, and she's done that a couple cons, and we're thinking, well, Weldon would really like to do Howl. And you liked Howl, didn't you?
Yeah.
So he liked Howl, so we thought, Howl, if you know the costume, it's a checkered vest. It's got a lot of gold trim. It's not a simple jacket. It's got a poofy underneath shirt. And we had a month before the cons. All right, let's go online and buy a costume. And we bought a costume. It's really, again, the online costume quality is way up there. It's better than a Halloween costume. It might not be as good as what you would make. But, there used to be a stigma attached to buying your costume. It's really not anymore. You can contact some of these professional cosplayers. You want something, you want a Wonder Woman that's really good, you can commission them. They'll build you these things. There's nothing wrong with building a costume. So maybe your kids are into building it. I just want to buy Batman. Make it simple. I'm buying the old Adam West Batman, and I'm holding up a POW sign, and I'm with my kids. There's nothing wrong with sitting down and buying a costume. The quality of the costumes out there are just fabulous. We get a personal feeling from, again, we're found out to cosplay from being able to thrift these costumes and make them the way we want just from the thrift store. That's just our high on it. Everybody else got something else. I'm just wearing it's enough. And like the girls, we were just in a panel next door, the girls from Thermal Cosplay. If you've met them, they say even the best bought costume, you're going to have to do a little bit of tailoring. And we were concerned with his Howl costume because it was an Asian company, and he's 6'2". What's the chance I'm going to get the right costume online Asian sized? So they had a great sizing chart. We read their sizing chart. We worked with that, and the costume came in. It was the right size. It was good. It looked good on him. Pants were a little not quite right, so we just threw some black pants on. came pants, shirt, and the props. And we had to get him a wig. So again, you're going to have to maybe dig up some other things. You know, the anime's got all that spiky wig stuff going. So get your spiky wig hairspray out. You know, those of us who remember the '80s, we know how to use all that Aquanet. So do that. The other one is, I see these young ladies, college students, high school students, these young ladies making beautiful costumes. And they've got reluctant boyfriend with them. And reluctant boyfriend's with 3 really hot girls. And he's either doesn't have a costume or he's bought the cheapest costume he can find at the Halloween store. He's the banana or the taco or something. One of those really cheesy ones. All I want to say to reluctant boyfriend is, you're missing out a chance to impress some young ladies.
And there's some cool cosplays out there.
Up
Your game, guy. You impress those young ladies you're with. They're into it. Impress them. All us older guys know. We were a little smarter when we were young. So those are my bad examples. And so be that good example. Sit down with your kids. I heard one family does they rotate the family. Each con they ask a family member what they're going to be. And they create a whole family around it. And dad, for one of them, I forget what he said the cosplay, but he ended up having to be the horse in the background. But he cosplayed with his family because he tells the kids that pick a character and we're going to do it. I've been going to cons a couple years with my kids before my wife got a chance to go with us. And my first con with her, I said, I know she loves elves. We play D&D, we're the total nerds. She reads a lot of fantasy. So I knew we were going to be an elf. It was just, what elf were we going to be? So I went to Barbie and I says, what elves are we going to be for this con? And she goes, we're going to do Elf Quest. It's an old comic. They've been around for over 40 years now. She was reading it when we were in high school. It was still a new comic then. So I had to sit down and read the comic because she showed me what character I'm going to be. And I read the comic. I started doing some sketches. And I started looking for cloth. And we created Elf Quest characters. And it was fun because it was what she wanted to do. We got to do it together. Now again, Weldon's 30. My youngest one's 22. We really don't have kids at home anymore. But as a couple, it's a great time. What else do most couples do? Maybe go out on a date. Date night with the wife. You might go camping or go visit some friends, but the family bonding is sitting down there and planning your cosplay, building it together, working together to build your costume. And coming, we came here, we stayed in the hotel. Weldon's with us this time, but the last con we were at, we built these costumes for Gaslight Steampunk Expo. And their theme this year was Egypt. And they had a 14-foot Stargate. So we decided to be Steampunk Stargate SG-1. So we traveled, when's the last time as a couple you took a 3-day weekend to hang out with your wife and do something? Hang out with your husband and just do something you're both doing. So we both go there, we build costumes together, we go there, we have a nice long weekend. That con's great because 2 nights they have dances in the evening. So dances with an open bar and everything. So we get to enjoy a weekend date night. And how many times we do that as a family? If you got little kids, how many times you travel out of town and you get to spend some time with your kids, do some stuff with them. Again, you sat there when my daughter and I were planning her first con, the one I took the girls to. She did Starfire from Teen Titans, and she made that whole costume. So her and I got to go shopping at the thrift stores looking for pieces. We got to go to the fabric store and check out fabric together and check out patterns together and spend some time with our kids that we don't normally get to spend with them. It's not like picking up from school or watching their ball game or something like that. You're spending time with kids doing something that they enjoy. So It's really, that's what family cosplay is about, is making a family activity that you and your kids can enjoy, and you build memories, and you post pictures, and you make friends. First con they did the Teen Titans the night before, they had the whole zombie motif going. I helped my daughter build a zombie prom queen. Even had a sash I made for it that said Miss Undead Flagstaff on it. And she got in the zombie beauty pageant and made it to the top 5, 30-some people. Her first night, she made the top 5. You know, is that a memory she can have all her life? You know, and I got to sit there. I airbrushed her tiara. I helped make all her costume, and got to see her pull off the costume. So that's really what family cosplay is about. Cosplay is a hobby. If it's not your hobby, but it's your kid's hobby, make it yours too, because the kids aren't going to do your hobby. You know, we like our kids to do everything we do, you know? But realistically, we want to do the thing that they enjoy. Like I said, my daughter started us on this over 6 years ago. She's off in the Navy doing her own thing, and we're still cosplaying, and we're still having a great time. You know, would I have taken the time to take my wife to San Diego for a 3-day weekend otherwise? You know, can you make an excuse to take your wife for a 3-day weekend somewhere? And bottom line, I thought when we first thought about doing cosplay, we were out in San Diego with the Scouts. We were doing scuba out there. The girls said, "There's a zombie walk downtown. Let's go see it." So we saw the zombie walk just as San Diego Comic-Con lets out into the main area. And the girls goes, "What can we do to go to one of these things? Can we build a costume?" I says, "I'll do the research. I'll see what we can do." And I've heard that cosplay was expensive and kind of elitist and everything. And I found out that, you know, Phoenix Comic-Con was the big one, obviously, in Arizona. And Phoenix Comic-Con was the same time all these girls were actually summer camp staff for Boy Scout camp. So they couldn't miss out their camp staff time. That was their summer job. But at the time they were holding a con called Amazing Arizona Comic-Con. They quit doing Amazing Arizona. They still do Amazing Las Vegas, Amazing Houston, and Amazing Honolulu. And we go to Amazing Las Vegas. So I did the research and I found that a weekend pass, you guys already paid your money. The weekend pass is not that expensive. It's cheaper than going to a Diamondbacks game. Cheaper than going to see the Suns. Cheaper than probably even going to see ASU or U of A play. You know, so you look at if you're taking your whole family to a ball game, that you're going to sit there for 4 hours and watch someone else, or pay that same ticket price and get a weekend pass to spend the weekend with your family. Which one are you going to actually interact more with your child at a con, or sitting there cheering for some guy in some other silly costume? So I got the tickets and we went and we enjoyed it. You know, it was nice. You know, for us, you know, traveling down from Flagstaff adds to the cost a little bit when we go. But if I'd seen a Diamondback game, it would have been the same way. You know, I'm not going to go down to a Diamondbacks game or a Cardinals game and try and drive back to Flag and we get a hotel or whatever for that also. So I think it spends more quality time. You get to be part of it. Not a sports fan at all. You know, I can't imagine spending the money that they want for a ticket to see the Diamondbacks game. You know. But and it's a great outlet. We all got creativeness to us. But if you're not creative, go online, buy that costume. Find the costume you like and buy it, put it on. You might do a little tailoring, you might have to do a little makeup. Don't be too manly to do your makeup. Again, my elf costume is a V-neck with no sleeves, and I've got an awesome farmer's tan. And you know what? Elves don't have farmer's tans. So it takes a lot of makeup to get my arms and my shoulders and my chest to match all one color. So I've got to do that. I've got to do all that makeup. So, like I said, one of the early cons I was at, I was sitting there taking notes, doing the makeup clinic, sitting notes, doing the hair clinic, and the young ladies up there, like, I said, "I'm going to be in makeup and wig tomorrow," and they're like, really? The old guy's not going to be making it. And I walk in the next day and I've got my bear claw from ElfQuest on. I've got that makeup on my sleeves and my arm. I've got a beard glued on. I've got a wig with an auxiliary wig for a ponytail out the top. You know, I've got the full thing. That, oh, the old guy really did that. So, you know, break that stereotype of dad, not that one that can't put the makeup and the wig on too. Fortunately, I found a really great wig at Goodwill. You know, paid $9 for it. Looked it up online. It was like a $260 wig. Yeah, but you know, Arta Wigs makes great wigs. All these cosplay supply people. I was just at the panel next door with the girls from Thermal Cosplay talking about the history of cosplay. When you had to make everything, and it was a little elitist because I made it and you bought a costume. Nobody cares if you bought it or not now. Buy something you really like. Find a character you love. You love a character that's an opposite gender, do that character anyway. Some of the guys might have a little more problem with that, but just have fun with it. Have fun with it. And bottom line, have fun with your kids. So I think that's about all I got. You got anything to add, Mama or Weldon?
Well, like the con we just went to in San Diego, I needed a wig to become Egyptian. I had this horrible, absolutely horrible Halloween wig that could have been my Cleopatra. And it's in the Halloween box, and I'm like, I really don't want to dig this thing out of the shed. So we were at Sabaton down in Phoenix, and we go, okay, we'll go and see. And we keep wandering through the vendor hall, and we go, he finally goes, okay, I'm breaking down. We're going to the wig place. And we'll go, you wouldn't by happen to have a Cleopatra bob wig? She goes, oh, yes, I do.
It was all
Proceeds to dig.
It was all the anime stuff.
Dig
I'm looking at all these pinks
far.
and purples and stuff. She's not gonna have a black Cleopatra bob wig at the anime con, but she did. So don't let anything stop you. Do the characters you want to do. Have fun with it. You know, there's.
Said, I wasn't always this. I became Cleopatra. I already had that awesome kaftan.
And yeah, we got to do that. It was the Pharaoh's balls. We got to even if you're just a couple, that's still family.
And of
whether
course,
whether your family's your kids, whether the family's your girlfriend, whether the family's your spouse, your significant other, the friend next door that you do everything.
You two ladies,
Two ladies,
awesome, by the way, in your ferry. That steampunk ferry is awesome.
So,
in fact, we're looking forward to.
WestCon's going to be mystery and fantasy this year.
Yeah.
Get your ferries, get your steampunk on. That's here in Old Tucson Studios. So that's the other thing. Cons, you found Tucson Comic Con, but if you do enough research, there's a con going on every weekend somewhere. There really is. They're on top of each other. Find the one that you like the best. Find the one the kids like the best. Again, you're going to go to the ones the kids like the best first. Take your kids and.
In fact, we were just flipping through the
and sometimes we don't go. Weldon and I do. Barbara and I just did the wild.
Freshers Ash.
We do the.
Freshers Ash.
Wasteland stuff.
Yeah.
Mad Max things.
Mad Max
That's not really family appropriate. They're over 18 events for
It's
a
the
reason.
13
They're an over 18 only event because you camp out and there's adult beverages involved and all
Some
that.
beers.
Springs.
Yeah, so but there's something you can have fun with every weekend somewhere. Plan it out. We did 7 cons this year.
7.
We got to 7 different events, and
Something.
who can say that they
Now,
took their family on 7 trips this year? Took their family out for 7 different weekend outings this year.
And
Now
some of
remember,
them
so
being
again,
expensive.
it's your family. Go out and the kids are in the back room playing video games. You're watching the game in the living room. Mom's over on the computer looking up things on Pinterest.
Facebook.
get the family together, decide to do something, whether you do a group cosplays are fun, but or you do each of you do something different. They were House Moving Castle on Friday. I was Alita Battle Angel on Friday. So we're together today, but Weldon's something separate. Yesterday.
The boys were together and I was.
Yesterday, Weldon and I were Wastelanders, and she was Elsa. So what's the difference between Elsa and Wastelanders? We were as far apart as you can get. So there's no reason that you think that you show up to a con together, you're gonna look like you're together. Though I tease the wife that we're shortly in the running to be the cute older couple at the con.
I don't know, James. I think Mr. Spring will agree to that one because he's got Lady.
I've got photos.
Yeah, you got photos.
Lady Temperance is the same thing. Cutest couple in the.
So thank you very much. What do you think? The youngest person in the audience. You want to drag mom and dad along?
Me.
Is it fun? Do you think it'd be fun that mom and dad get into your hobby too? You don't want to be too much in your space, but you don't want too much in your space. But
I know that mask is an anime.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
There are a lot of those.
But again, go out, do some research, find the costume,
Look at the characters.
build it, buy it, but wear it.
I always wanted to dress up as Magneto, like.
So that means I was
just saying it was Magneto.
Oh no.
So my challenge to you is next con be Magneto.
Yeah, I need to find an outfit with the cape.
Again, Magneto's a great one. It's on.
Oh, the Phillies!
Magneto's definitely one you can find.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I just look
I
at
think
the
that's a
Phillies.
good group with that. Like,
He does Beast. I do
the Beast.
oh, cool.
I do Nick Fury.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And I'll turn
My
around
daughter's
and turn
done
into Agent
Jubilee.
Carter.
Her husband's done Gambit.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So be Magneto. Your job is to make sure Dad looks up and finds a Magneto helmet. He finds a Magneto.
Actually, there are some great tutorials on the etherwebs.
There's a Storm the Castle.
Storm the Castle has a Magneto helmet.
Oh,
Tutorial. If you want to make it.
yeah.
If you want to order it, just Google it and you can order it.
It's not ordered, but it's expensive.
So,
Well, thanks, guys.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Were you here for ours or are you here for the next one?
We're here for, we caught the end of yours and the next one. So
Okay.
we were a little early.
So we sort of wrapped up a little early. You got anything? Obviously, you're doing family cosplay.
Yes.
I just used you almost as an example. You walked in here. You're the bad example.
Oh, so I'm not in costume?
You're crafty mom.
I am crafty mom.
Crafty mom makes some really awesome costumes.
Did you make all of those?
This one and this one are mine, and this is another furry we met online. So she's walking.
You are
So
fantastic,
crafty mom makes some really cool costumes
Mm-hmm.
and does a lot of good work. But crafty mom needs to be a costume too and enjoy it.
And I will, and I did do costume last year because we did Zelda and Link, and I was Shikai Knight or Shikai Warrior. So I made samurai pants because I made the Shikai Warriors because they're kind of samurai, kind of ninja. So I crossed them both, and I had the big Haku pants, and
Perfect.
I made my own.
But that also brings us back another thing we made at the start of the panel. Family cosplay doesn't have to be group cosplay.
Yes, it does.
So again, my first con, I had 3 girls. They were the Teen Titans. They were Terra, Starfire, and Raven. What was I? I was Grandpa Max from Ben 10.
That's a great costume.
Well, here's the
Total
trick.
comfort.
So am I totally not with the girls? I'm with the girls, but do I need to be? Now, fortunately for them, they had costumes with no pockets or anything.
So you're also a handler.
So I'm also a handler with this bag, and it was 3 16-year-old girls.
Oh my gosh.
So again, my job was also like my daughter said, sometimes boys just hug you a little bit too long. So when they would gather up too big of a group of boys, I would walk over and hand him. Well, no, you just walk over and hand him a snack or hand him a water bottle. So you don't say anything to anybody. You just say,
It's the presents.
Here's your snack, and they go, oh, thank you. So they see that there's, and the first thing I would say is, and again, I told the girls, they're 16-year-olds. One of them had a car. They had a driver's license. I said, you could have realistically gone on your own.
Yeah.
And their thing was, no, thank you for coming with us.
Safety first.
I would say never let a teenager go to a con by themselves. But even if it's a 16-year-old boy, 18, 17-year-old boy, don't go by yourself. But don't be just crafty mom. Be cosplay mom.
No, see, I already got stuff for next year. This year, we're working on these ones. I don't have time for my own.
Again,
But I don't have cash.
we didn't have time for Sabaton. She was doing Sophie. We didn't have time to make another one for him. He wanted to do Howell from House.
Yes. Okay.
Well, Howell, you know the Howell character. A lot of diamonds in that jacket.
Yes.
We bought a jacket online. We bought a costume online.
Nice.
It came out. It was a fabulous costume. It was good quality. It wasn't expensive.
Nice.
And only thing we were concerned, again, buying a costume from a Japanese company for someone who's 6'2", is it going to fit 6'2", shoulders and everything?
Yes.
And we were fortunate; it had a sizing chart with the website. So we went to the sizing chart, we went through it, and we got a costume that fit a 6'2" guy.
Very nice.
That can always be a risk.
And this
It can
one,
be
this one.
Make sure
I'm
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.
Hello, this is Eric.
And Wendy Strog with Stone Valley Hobby and Games.
We sell board games, card games, role-playing games, and supplies. We have thousands of Magic the Gathering cards available, carry Kickstarter products, and work with veteran-owned small businesses to bring you our own line of products.
We are a small business retailer, but we offer competitive prices, a loyalty system, and free shipping on orders over $100.
As a military veteran myself, I'm a strong supporter of our armed forces, their families, and contractors out there doing the hard job. So any order from an AA, AE, or EP address will be shipped absolutely free.
Remember, StoneValleyGames.com, where we take your leisure seriously.